Welcome back to the Hero Whispers. Thank you for tuning in today with your host, Jeannie Marie. I am founder and chief Supergirl of Supergirls.com. That is 2 L's, the second L for love. The Hero Whispers is our podcast where we cherish and honor our young women in college getting ready to launch or recently launched. So Supergirls is all about empowering and inspiring these women and helping them with the tools they need to navigate the real world. And we love to talk to them on our podcast and hear their stories and hear what they have to bring to the world. And we also talk to other women who may be inspiring to them, potential mentors. It's all about the sisters here on the Hero Whispers. So without further ado, let me introduce today our amazing guest, Kaylin Saxer-Talby. She is a recent graduate of Connecticut College, one of my all-time favorite colleges, since my son, as many of you guys know, went there. So Kaylin graduated with Mark, and she studied psychology and studio art. With this background, she is pursuing a career in marketing, design, and event management. After her first year, she honed her skills in leadership as the club volleyball president for the following 3 years, building the club from bare existence into a competitive top-tier team. Additionally, Kaylin was the chair of events for the senior class gift committee, which raised funds for the class of 2020 endowed scholarship for future students. During her time at Con, she received the John McKinnon Prize in Psychology, woohoo, and worked 3 jobs with the accounting office, sports information, and Cummings Art Gallery. While she is originally from Kansas City, Missouri, she is pursuing opportunities in Boston, Massachusetts. In her free time, she enjoys hiking, kayaking, being creative, and playing games. Kaylin, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for such a warm welcome.
You deserve it. Okay, so I met Kaylin actually. We had a boot camp. Supergirls had a boot camp maybe about a month ago, and Kaylin was one of our girls on there, and she was super engaged and really got a lot out of the tools and the lessons that we had on there and the networking. And so we stayed in touch, and I was so honored and such a pleasure to have you on the show. I'm so happy that you're here. So first of all, congrats on your graduation and all these accomplishments.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, especially now, I really honor and treasure you guys for what you had to go through and like canceling senior year, like basically all the fun stuff anyway. You still had to study, but all the fun stuff got like ripped out of your lives, so that kind of sucks. But I really like to understand, like from different women, how they stayed focused and grounded in the craziness, because I think we can all learn from each other on this. It's a really tough thing to do. So what's your story? How did you do it?
Yeah, so it was definitely wild coming back. When it all started, I had some challenges because I left for spring break, and then they told us it was shut down. So I was in Kansas City when they told us. And so I had to fly back with my mom. We packed up everything in a day and then drove the 22 hours back to Missouri with my car because it was still on campus.
Oh my God.
So that was crazy to begin with.
Well, shout out to Betsy, because she is the bomb, and she went with you. Woo!
Yes, great lady. And then whenever we went to remote classes, adjusting to that was very difficult because I'm back in my parents' basement in Missouri, and then I have to manage dogs that are here and do all sorts of things, and there's no library to focus at. So that was like one of my biggest things. I didn't have a place where I could go and stay focused. And so what I found helped me the most was using my support system to have like these open, honest conversations with my girlfriends back at Con and talking to them, like, what are you struggling with? Like, oh, actually, I'm struggling with the same thing. Like, how are you getting through it? It was a great way to have that conversation and really use each other as emotional support, but also to give us those helpful tips. And we would additionally set up this little library time on a Zoom call where we would just pretend we were at the library and have each other there doing work but not talking. So if you could see somebody was on their phone, you could be like, hey, like, you know what, we should be doing work. And it was like, let's stay on track like that.
That's a great idea. I mean,
yeah, it was really fun too.
You have to be creative in these times, and these times is when a lot of innovation really develops in our world. So I think that's really an awesome idea with the library. I know that my son Mark also struggled with that because he hung out in the library all the time doing work, and yeah, you have these crazy spaces that now you have to make your jam.
Right.
Yeah,
one room is your everything.
It's insane. So glad it's almost over. Like, what a relief. I mean, yeah. But I do think we learn a lot from going through something like that. And I love the sisterhood too, because I agree. I mean, that is like my swan song, all about the sisters. It's all about the sisterhood. It's all about leaning on each other, supporting each other. And you did that, and you made that magic happen for yourself. So you just, yeah, and like you'll have that the rest of your life to lean on and think about and remember, and help you in the next, hopefully crisis won't be as bad, but whatever other issues you struggle with.
And it was, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, if I have so many challenges in my life where, I mean, I am a lot older than you, so I've gone through a lot of some crazy bad, good and bad, but that is tough stuff. And if I didn't have the girls, it just never, I don't know. I would have been definitely ended up in an insane asylum. People to talk me off the ledge.
They're so helpful.
For real. Oh my God. So now that you're in the afterlife, in the real world, as they say, do you feel like you're prepared? Do you feel like Connecticut College prepared you for this adventure?
I would say so. I definitely think post-grad in any world, in any sense, is always going to seem a little bit scary. And with everything up in the air right now, I definitely think it's natural that I to feel unprepared. And so whenever I started job hunting and networking with alumni, I felt that sense of community that came in with it, and it really calmed my nerves. And I realized that, like, especially Conn's alumni network is so friendly and eager to go beyond and above to help students and new grads. And that has been like my biggest impact in my search. And especially the part wherever I have to live on my own when I get that job, move out to Boston, that part I think Conn really prepared me for, because they really encourage everyone to go abroad at some point in their college experience. And also they push you to get a summer internship. And those are two things that really, like, I was out on my own already, even though they were only short, like 3-4 month adventures. Those really helped me to grow. I had to navigate new cities on my own, and back to the support of friends. Like, that was something that really helped me. Even though I was in Copenhagen, Denmark, I lived with 10 other girls that were also from America, dealing with the same homesick feelings and like trying to travel and listen to this new language while trying to figure out their metro system. Like, everything, I think, at Conn, really, their external experiences that they push you to do has made me feel totally prepared to hit the road running, like, in this next step of my life.
Amazing. I love the camels for that. Shout out to the camels. And I love that the alumni are so awesome and so tight, because that's what it's all about. That's one of the reasons you choose a school. So that's great to hear. And I didn't know you went to Copenhagen. Let's hear about that. How was your experience?
Yeah.
I mean, because I think it's harder to navigate that than an American city, right? I mean, much harder.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, it was the best 4 months of my life, for sure.
Oh my God.
The fact that that I lived with other Americans definitely helped me adjust quicker, but also it kind of didn't allow me to be as immersed. So I would like to go back and do more traveling, which is always a good thing. But yeah, the challenges were definitely difficult whenever you're checking out a store and someone thinks you're Danish and they just speak a full Danish sentence, and you're like, yeah, I'm American. I don't know your language. I'm so sorry. And then they're like, oh, okay, I see. I hear you now. But yeah, I learned so many new things. I was able to travel to like 10 other countries, and it was just so amazing to throw myself into that, just be curious what's out there and say, like, oh, if I miss a train, I will figure it out. Like, I have the skills I need, I can manage. And you know what, like doing with others is always a great way to still feel comfortable in another city.
I mean, did they speak a lot of English there though, right?
Yes, that was very helpful. Like no matter what, if you didn't understand what they were saying, you could speak English and they would help out for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, but it's great that you stretched yourself and tried to do their native tongue. That's very commendable. I wouldn't expect anything less from you, Miss Queen Kaylin, leader extraordinaire. And speaking of that, I mean, okay, congratulations on the John McKinnon Prize. OMG. Wow. So amazing. I mean, I don't really know who John McKinnon is, but it has to be a seriously selective honor and award to have been given that, because there's only one human that gets it. So talk about that. How did you make that happen?
Yeah, it was actually a funny thing because I didn't know what award I was getting until the night of the college-wide award ceremony. And so I like went in, I got a name tag, which on the back said psychology. I was like, okay, I'm getting it in my major. That's good to know. And then it wasn't until I sat down at the table, opened the booklet, and then like flipped through all the pages to find my name and like what it was for. And it was pretty nerve-wracking, but the prize was for outstanding performance in psychology.
Wow.
And I was super honored to receive it, especially because I just had declared a psychology major. And this was in my sophomore year. And so early, I was really thankful to my advisor, Professor Marshall, who really pushed me to do well. And her classes were just so informative that I couldn't help but do well because I was so curious about the information. Yeah, so that was really great.
Was she kind of a mentor to you? Did you feel?
Yeah, definitely. She's one of those advisors, mentors that you can go into her office anytime. And I did every semester, especially when we had to pick classes. And I was like, oh no, this one's full. Like, what do I do? And she's always like, it's okay. Like, here are your options. We know that you'll do fine. And it was always just super helpful to know that she was there supporting whatever decision I needed to make.
Yeah, it's so helpful to have someone direct you and have a mentor in your career and well, starting in college, even younger if you can. But I really feel like that's a place where I try to really help women, because I definitely didn't do enough of that myself. And I think that women helping women is even stronger. I mean, mentors can look like any shape, size, color, whatever, age. But the women thing, there's just something how we understand each other. And I feel that that's, and especially the things that we go through, like if we want to be moms or if we want to have relationships and, get married or whatever, it's, and juggle a career, like it definitely hits us differently than it hits the male gender.
Yeah, common bonds are great.
Common bonds. Okay, so you majored in psych, and do you see yourself as you don't see yourself as like being a doctor or a clinical counselor, although I think you have the kind of personality that would be amazing like that because you're such a good listener and so patient. But, maybe someday, did you ever consider that? Or how did you consider like doing what you want to do?
Yeah, definitely. Before college, I helped my friends with everything. Like they would always know, like, Kaylin's the person I can go to for advice. And so I definitely think it crossed my mind even before I was a psych major and really knew I was interested in it, because I knew I always was prepared to help people work through problems. But once I got into the major, I realized the clinical side, there's a lot of things